Within a secluded island where gifted individuals are trained to defeat monstrous creatures called the enemies of humanity, an elite academy selects teens from around the world who possess supernatural powers. Nakajima is a boy who, unlike everyone else in his class of gifted, seems to not possess any powers. This instantly marks him as an outcast and a subject of bullying. One day, the teacher introduces a couple of additions to the class and a boy walks in, introducing himself as Kyouya. The class brute, Mogo, demands from him what his talent is, only for the teacher to say that Kyouya's talent is a secret, making Nakajima suspect that he must be powerful. Following Kyouya, a pink-haired girl walks in and introduces herself in a bubbly manner as Nana, as she tells the class that her talent is mind-reading. Much to everyone's astonishment, after the introductions, they proceed to appoint a class representative. Nana kicks it off by nominating Nakajima, pointing out all the qualities that make him a good leader. But none of them listen, and the two popular kids volunteer themselves instead. They could not agree who to vote for, so they settled it in a match. Seiya, the boy who can freeze any liquid, and Mogo, who can shoot fireballs, face each other in the field for duel. After a series of attacks from either party, Seiya defeats Mogo by freezing his leg, making him unable to stand up. Angered and unable to accept defeat, Mogo stands up and shoots a large fireball at Seiya. Within a moment, Nakajima is on his feet, blocking the fireball and disintegrates it. Bewildered, Nana asks Nakajima how he did it, and he reveals that his power is to neutralize other people's powers. After the heroic display of impressive skills, the class agrees to elect Nakajima as the class representative, sparking a new confidence in the boy. Later on, standing on the cliff, Nakajima tells Nana that he can't believe he is the leader. In her bubbly manner, she congratulates him and tells him that this is a new start for him. Nakajima takes her hand to shake it. Out of nowhere, Nana's cute aura transforms to a dark one and she throws him off his balance and pushes him off the cliff. Bewildered, Nakajima holds onto a rope for dear life and asks her what is happening. She says in a deep and ominous voice that the real enemies of humanity are not vile creatures he sees in his textbooks, but the people, like him, who have the powers that can easily oppress those who do not. And after seeing what he can do, she knows that he is a great threat to humanity. With one final shove, she leads him plummeting down to his death. At the center of a dimly lit courtroom, Nana stands under a spotlight. There, officials concealed in the dark are revealed to give her instructions to eradicate the Talents, aka her classmates. Because, as it turns out, the enemies of humanity aren't hideous fanged monsters but are humans who have mutated and acquired supernatural powers and took advantage of it to oppress the rest of humanity. During a class activity in a lake, the teacher tries to get a chaotic class to pay attention. Having enough of it, Seiya shows off his talent by freezing the entire lake. Nana observes how thick the ice is and how unlikely it is that it will thaw quickly. Later that day, Nana sits with Seiya and watches Mogo bully another student. Mogo swings to punch, but unexpectedly gets knocked off himself. This is revealed to be Shibusawa's doing, another boy in the class whose ability is rumored to be being able to stop time. Seiya tells Nana with a sigh that Shibusawa might be the most powerful one in the class, making Nana mark him as her next target. Nana joins Shibusawa as he eats lunch in an attempt to know more about his ability. She discovers that Shibusawa can actually travel back in time as opposed to being able to stop it. Nana devises a plan on how to kill him when Kyouya, one of the new students who came with Nana and whose ability has kept a secret, joins them. He seemingly interrogates Nana about Nakajima, interested or concerned by his disappearance. However, Nana smoothly takes the upper hand in the conversation and drives Kyouya away to avoid more suspicion. Shortly after this, Shibusawa grows interested in investigating Nakajima's disappearance as well, and tells Nana that he will help in finding him. This, however, led to his ultimate demise as Nana managed to send him back to the time where the lake was frozen and trapped him under, without any way out alive. Because Kyouya is starting to suspect Nana, she takes it upon herself to unmask Kyouya's powers so she could figure out a way to dispose of him. After deducing from their interactions that he does not have the ability to smell, she sets him up to go into a room full of gasoline that she rigged to explode when a stove is lit up. Her plan succeeded and finally figured out that his power was self-regeneration. After being burnt up by the flames, Nana saw in real time how this body healed from the burns almost instantly. This, however, only made Kyouya more suspicious of her. In an attempt to keep Kyouya off her back so she can continue with her kills, Nana devises a plan to make herself look like a victim by secretly stabbing herself in the back and blaming it on the enemies of humanity. This somehow works, and she even gained the favor of her classmates and they ended up voting her as a class representative. She even designated someone to go over the class and ask them their abilities. This, however, backfires when Tsunakichi approaches her one evening to show her a photograph and asks her to explain it. Tsunakichi reveals that he can travel to the future, and the photograph she's looking at is something that will happen in the next few hours. In it, she was holding a weapon posed to strike the tied-up Tsukunichi. She tells him that it must be a mistake, but Tsukunichi refuses to let it go. He takes her to a restaurant and proves that his photograph from the futures aren't a bluff, and what they capture would really come true. Nana continues to deny this until Tsukunichi shows her another photograph and asks her to explain it. It shows Nana on the cliff in the afternoon that Nakajima died, kicking him to his death. Tsukunichi threatens to show the pictures to the class, making Nana realize that he's trying to blackmail her. Nana tells Tsukunichi that she is not an enemy of humanity and asks how she can make him believe her, and Tsukunichi slyly suggests that she could be his girlfriend. Nana sees this as an opportunity to monitor him closely. After being told to spend the night with him, Tsukunichi falls asleep as the instant camera on Tsukunichi's bed takes pictures. Nana hides the photos and leaves the room to take snapshots to replace them. Later that day, Tsukunichi tells Nana that he took 5 pictures, but woke up to only find 4. He reaches into her top to take out a photo of her tied up. This takes Tsukunichi's guard down, since he concurred that with this photograph that Nana is the one in danger and not him. Tsukunichi tells Nana that he will go to the PE shed at night, and should nothing happen to him at 10 p.m., he will believe her. 10 p.m. struck, and despite Tsukunichi's confidence that he wouldn't be dying that night, he was still found lifelessly sprawled on the ground. As it turns out, the photograph of Nana being tied up was staged by none other than Nana herself to lower his guard. As soon as he entered the shed, fate took its course and took his life. But even with one problem down, Nana still has a lot on her plate when Kyouya and Michiru, the student with healing abilities, walk in on her standing beside Tsukunichi's body. She played it off by saying that Tsukunichi took her there and showed her photographs of her doing private activities. Kyouya deduced that she only might have taken him down for self-defense but wasn't entirely sure. Everyone left except for Michiru, who was still trying to bring Tsukunichi to life. She felt something beneath the dead boy's jacket and took it. Just when the ominous-looking Nana enters the room, Michiru glimpses a photograph of Tsukunichi's vision of her idolized Nana, kicking Nakajima off a cliff. Thanks to Michiru's blind admiration for Nana, she believes it when Nana tells her that Tsukunichi cannot always make predictions and that it might only be a dream. At Tsukunichi's funeral, tensions are rising, and everyone seems to be a bit shaken that the enemies of humanity are closing in. Kyouya demands that he wants to do an autopsy while Nana does what she can to prevent it. Just as Kyouya is about to open the casket, it's opened from the inside by Tsukunichi's glowing corpse, throwing everyone into a state of shock. Shinji, a quiet and usually absent boy in class, steps in front and introduces himself as a necromancer. He said that he could reanimate the dead and even make him volunteer information. In this case, the case of his death. In a desperate attempt, Nana announces that she can hear Tsukunichi's thoughts to let him rest and is settled that they perform the more respectable approach of the autopsy instead. That same night, Nana trails Shinji, marking him as her next prey since his talents in reanimating the dead is a big threat to her mission as it could incriminate her. She discovers that Shinji has a relationship with Yuka, a girl in the class with superhuman strength. She befriends them and comes to realize a bigger revelation: that Yuka is the actual necromancer and Shinji is actually dead and is only being reanimated by the obsessed Yuka. Nana catches Yuka in a fragile state, takes her poison needles, and finishes her off. Nana sneaks up behind Habu in the forest and asks where her friend Kaori is, telling Nana that she got into a fight with Kaori. Nana pricks Habu with her poison needle and takes her phone, telling her to give her the password in exchange for the antidote. Habu gives her the password and Nana leaves her to die before going into Kaori's room to poison Kaori's contact lenses. Later on, Nana takes Kyouya, Michiru, Seiyu, and Mogu to the forest to explain how Yuka was the necromancer who reanimated Shinji's body to be with him forever. In the end, she regretted doing it and killed herself. Kyouya's suspicion and Nana are becoming greater and greater as she struggles to cover up the kills. The other classmates, especially the loyal Michiru, still refuse to believe it. In the dormitories, the group hears a scream. Running to Kaori's room, they find her dead as Kyouya investigates and finds that Kaori was poisoned through her contact lenses. Michiru mentions Habu's talent was turning her saliva into poison making. Kyouya suspects Habu. After going through Kaori's phone, Michiru tells Kyouya that Kaori and Habu last spoke when they were in the forest with Nana. Convinced that Nana killed Kaori, Kyouya tells some of their classmates that Nana is the culprit. After explaining his evidence against Nana, Kyouya begins to search Nana for Habu's phone. After searching Nana but finding no phone to prove his claim, Kyouya apologizes to Nana, after Michiru yells at him for putting her through so much. Nana tells the group that she heard Habu's spirit voice telling them not to suspect anyone again. Later that night, Michiru sees Nana guarding the dormitories as the night's lookout. In her sweet manner, she offers to be on the lookout so Nana could rest. But as though she flipped a switch, an ominous look casts onto her face, and she holds a blade to Nana's throat, asking her what her real talent is. This takes Nana off her guard, but she quickly gets her footing and disarms her, wounding her hand. The next day, Nana takes Michiru to the cliff to confront her, knowing that that person isn't actually Michiru because she bandaged her hand wound instead of healing it. Michiru shapeshifts into a man who introduces himself as Jin and tells her that he used to go to the school. Taking Nana to a cave, Jin offers Nana coffee as he makes himself a cup. Jin reveals that he's actually been acting as the cat that Kyouya's been feeding and that 5 years ago his classmates were at war with one another. However, Nana slips poison into the drink, making Jin drop dead, or so Nana thought. Dialing her phone to call the committee to report about Jin, Kyouya grabs a hold of her phone, who then transforms to Michiru and Seiya, as Nana realizes with horror that Jin can copy not only the appearance, but also the powers of whoever he shapeshifts to. As Nana runs to escape the cave, Jin shapeshifts into Mogu and throws a massive fireball to stop her. Jin asks about Nana's family situation as a way to build trust, and Nana opens up to him. Jin warns her to be careful, saying that she might not be the only murderer on the island. Nana wakes up in the real Michiru's bed, with her back healed. The untainted nature of Michiru affects Nana to open up about her past, especially her parents' early death, which left her an orphan at a very young age. After opening up, Nana looks closely and analyzes Michiru, thinking that she must have a dark side like everyone else if she were to kill her off someday. But she couldn't seem to find any. At Shinji, Yuka, and Kaori's funeral, Kyouya tells his teacher to let him talk to the higher-ups next time they call. All while Nana sees Michiru falling ill on account of her overexerting her powers. Later in Nana's room, Jin appears and tells Nana that he will give her her phone in exchange for her opening up to him again. Michiru enters the room, making Jin transform into the cat, as Nana opens up about what type of child she was. Nana tells them how she snuck out of the window one night and forgot to lock it, causing a burglar to break in, and that resulted in her parents' death. In the morning, Kyouya shows the girls a dead body, as Nana realizes that there is another murderer in their midst. Identifying the dead student as Ryuji, Kyouya asks Mogu what he was doing the night before. Mogu tells Kyouya that he was giving his friend a pep talk. Kyouya asks Mogu's friend what their talents are, and they reveal to him that it is astral travel, voice mimicking, and a human magnet. Kyouya then asks Ryuji's girlfriend Fuka what her talent is, as she takes him outside to demonstrate her ability to channel the wind to attack. Finishing up outside, their teacher runs to Kyouya, telling him the higher-ups are on the phone. Back at the room, Nana and Michiru are busy investigating when Nana notices Michiru looking worried. Later on, Michiru asks Nana to live with her and her parents after graduation, causing Nana to get emotional and leave to her room. After receiving back her uniform from Michiru, Nana realizes that the poison bottle she used to try to kill Jin is missing. Kyouya appears and their teacher tells him someone from headquarters will be coming. After being questioned by Kyouya, Fuku asks Nana to help her avenge Ryuji's death. Later on, Nana reaches Michiru's room for her poison until Jin appears with the poison and gives it to her. Jin tells Nana to check on Michiru, but as Nana opens the bathroom door, she finds Michiru unconscious in the tub. After a mental debate on whether or not to save her, Nana finally rushes to their teacher to ask for the doctor, but tells her to ask Kyouya for help. Kyouya gives Nana some medicine and she rushes back to Michiru's side. Later that night, Fuko asks Nana if there are any developments in the case, but Nana tells her that Kyouya is handling it. Time passes as Michiru soon wakes up to tell Nana how she healed a cat that came to her before going to the shower. In the forest, Jin catches and talks to Ryuji's killer, telling him to stop harming the animals. Meanwhile, the mysterious committee is shown to have a meeting where Nana's mentor, Mr. Soroka, says he will go to inspect the school. Back on the island, Nana plays a game with Michiru and asks why she is a good person. Michiru tells Nana that she used to be bullied because of her power. One day, she healed a dog, and a girl from her school approached her to thank her for the kindness. Starting then, the girl, Hitomi, defended her from bullies and encouraged her to use her talents to help others. Michiru explains that Hitomi had cancer and died. She said that Hitomi's friendship has left a lasting effect on her, and that is why she always opened up to help everyone with her powers, even though it shortens her life. Nana leaves the room and once again gets torn up between what to prioritize, her friendship with Michiru, or her mission. Jin sneaks into Nana's room to give her a tip of Michiru's whereabouts. After saying that she might be in danger, Nana's immediate response was to go to her rescue. Midway, Nana gets a call from Mr. Soroka, the man from the council and Nana's boss. He said that he calls to remind her of her mission and expects her to carry it out. Again, Nana seems to have a change of heart and decides that Michiru is still an enemy and that she's not worth risking the mission. The scared Michiru tries with vain attempts to escape the killer. Just when the stab that could have ended her life reached her, Nana appears and shields her from it, taking the stab in the back. Nana reveals that Ryuji's killer is Mogu's friend who can astral travel, Rentaro. Rentaro, who is in his astral form, finishes off the weakened Nana with more stabs, apparently finding delight in the murder with no intention other than getting high on it. Within the dormitories, Kyouya finds Rentaro's physical body as he and Nana planned earlier, which breaks his astral travel. With the astral form of Rentaro gone, Michiru rushes to Nana, who is bleeding profusely, barely alive. Without second guessing, she starts healing her injuries despite Nana's protests to stop. Nana's restored to perfect health, and apart from bloodied clothes, torn in places that she stabbed, there are no traces of injury. She kneels in front of Michiru's body to try to listen for a heartbeat, but what she hears makes her break down in an anguished sob. And that was Talentless Nana Season 1 recap. If you enjoyed this recap, remember to hit the sub, click the like button, and comment down below to let me know what you think of the series. I'll see you on the next video.